Hello and welcome back to Fallout 76. Today we're going to have a bit of fun with Circuit Breaker and Throwables. So Circuit Breaker has a special effect. Successful final round shot will create an energy blast that deals damage and stuns enemies within 50 feet. Stunned enemies will be immune to being stunned again for 10 seconds. Now, successful final round shot means the last shot in the magazine actually hits an enemy, and that will trigger the effect. But you actually can also trigger the effect with throwables. And by throwables, I mean things like throwing knives, tomahawks, also grenades. It doesn't work with frag mines though. I tried that, didn't work. But yeah, basically if you can throw it, it works with this. Now this is something I did a video on quite a while ago. It's been over a year and we've had changes since then. Number one, throwables in general, throwing knives, tomahawks, they just do a whole lot more damage than they used to. They actually scale up to level 50 with your character's level. So that just results in them being a lot more useful, a lot more deadly actually. And we've also had some perk changes. This is the one though that really is the big one. It is Hat Trick. Arrows and throwing weapons bounce towards 3 additional targets, dealing 70% damage. So the build isn't super important today with what I want to show you, but I do also have Ninja. Throwing weapons will give 100% bonus sneak damage, but mainly it's the interaction between the throwables and the circuit breaker that I want to focus on. Okay, so first up, for this to work, you need to have the circuit breaker equipped and you need to have no ammo in the, you have to have no ammo. So you can see there I have 0 rounds. I mean, I do have some ammo on me, but it's not loaded. So we have an unloaded weapon and let's do a tomahawk. Actually does quite a bit more damage than throwing knife. So we're gonna do a tomahawk. And so let's throw it at this guy right here. And you can see we get that circuit breaker effect and they're all stunned, like none of them are moving. The stun doesn't last very long. It's, I don't know, what was that, 2 or 3 seconds? It's a pretty short stun. Of course, now they're immune for the next 10 seconds. But what's cool about it, at least visually, I don't know if it's actually working this way, but visually, because when you use the circuit breaker and you hit an enemy, the center of the blast centers on the enemy that you hit. And since we have Hat Trick, we're actually hitting 3 different enemies. So to me, at least visually, it looks like I was actually, all right, let's try the VATS thing. This is not quite as reliable, but there we go. But to me, it actually visually looked like it centered on all 3, all the ones that it actually hit. But I don't know if this is the most effective way, by the way. I mean, you're probably better off using like a furious weapon or something. But I think visually this is pretty fun. Oh, there we go. We got a friend right here. Now, this is a meat cleaver, by the way. I decided to switch it up a little bit. I love that. I mean, I think it just makes the... Okay, I'm in caution. He shouldn't be seeing me. I think it makes just visually, it's really neat. I could see some use for this though, if you wanted to do something really exciting like the Finn the Drill in the raid. I think that could make for, I don't know if it would work. I mean, it might. It's something I definitely want to try. But let's go find some enemies. I mean, it's a lot more interesting, obviously, when you're hitting multiple enemies, just because you can get that, if there's more, obviously, if there's more than, oh, I did hit them. If there's more than 3, obviously you can only hit, or I guess you can hit 4, right? It's 3 additional targets. So yeah, if you're hitting like a ton of enemies, which I'm not really quite sure where to find just a pile of enemies, other than like a horde event. One thing about the shock effect though, it actually does go through, I mean, he was outside the range, but it does go through walls. So it's if it said, yeah, see right there? If you were to do a grenade, the grenade, unless it was a nuke grenade, it would not go through the wall at all, but that shock effect does. And so I do think it makes it actually fairly useful because, any kind of, anything at all blocks like explosive, oh, he's right here. Anything at all kind of blocks explosive, like the explosive effect from like a frag grenade or whatever. And, having something like this that isn't affected by that. So, I mean, there we go. But this is fun. Like I said, I'm not really sure. I haven't done like a comparison because this does damage as well. I mean, the area effect does damage. It's not a lot. I think it's a fixed amount as well. I don't think it's bolstered by, like Demo Expert or Grenadier. I think it's unaffected by that. It's just, this is damage that it's doing. It's not an actual explosion, even if it may look like one. Oh, there's a mutant hound tried to go behind me. I think, oh, I got him. Yeah, the hitboxes generally are pretty, let's see if we can try this. So one thing you can do, this is pretty unreliable, but sometimes it'll actually work where you can actually, after you throw it, you go into VATS. And sometimes, I mean, I found kind of mixed results with that, but So it just means you don't have to be as precise, I guess. And you can do critical hits that way, supposedly. It's not something I've done, but you'd need to have a critical hit ready to go. But that's another thing I do. Oh, look at this. Free meat cleaver. Okay, well, maybe we'll get something. Usually this is a war zone down here. Oh, there's something. Oh, Grafton monster. All right. I think, wait, that's not a Grafton monster. That's, oh, it's a sloth. Okay, well, I aggroed the sloth, but you can see it went through the building. I mean, that shock effect actually goes pretty far, so I do think this could actually end up being something fairly useful. Let's do this. Yeah, see, that's what, so you do have to be somewhat accurate, but yeah, using VATS is one of those things where it's, you know, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. But yeah, this is, I mean, the damage, oops, the damage is, I guess you got to throw it before it actually throws. There we go. I mean, the damage is actually pretty good, but you can see the immunity to the shot, to the stun. Like, he kept moving after the first time. So yeah, you have 10 seconds. So that, you know, it is something you have to take into consideration. But I think you get the point with this. If you have the circuit breaker and you like doing throwables, combine these two together and it definitely makes things a lot more interesting. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit one of the buttons and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Thank you very much.